Okay, last time in chapter 6, we have covered up until uh, this one. Okay, so today we are going to continue with the additional part of chapter 6. Okay, so in chapter 6, we also continue with this. Last time we learned about conductors, we learned about heat exchangers, we learned about filter and also uh, kita belajar fittings tube and fittings. Okay, conductors. Alright, next we will learn about new thing called as seals. Okay, so whenever you have fittings or whenever you have connections, in order for us to minimize the oil leakage, okay, usually we will use seal. Alright, so in hydraulic system, oil leakage will reduce the efficiency and increase power losses. So we don't want the power losses to happen. So there are two types of leakages. Number one, the first type is called internal leakage, and number two is called okay. Number one is called internal leakage, and number two is called external leakage. Okay, the difference between internal and external is internal, you have no oil losses to the system because fluid will flow back to the reservoir, meaning the system is having a leakage but within the same piping system or connection. Leakage means maybe when you pump liquid up to the application or DCV, PCV, somehow some of the liquid does not go towards that, comes back to the tank. So it's called internal leakage. Okay, why is it happening? Because of some tolerance exists between components. Okay, maybe when you are dealing with pump, okay, some of the spacing, for example, vein pump. Okay, so for example, this is the cover for vein pump. Okay, there might be some tolerance here. So what happened, instead of pushing the pump towards the outlet, for example, some of the liquid goes back to the tank. So what will happen here? So we will have a condition where the system is having some leakage, but instead of going out from the system, it goes back to the tank. The second part of the leakage is called uh, external leakage, which is represent loss of fluid from the system. No losses. This one, the fluid is lost from the system, mainly caused by improper assembly of pipe fittings. For example, if you have your tap at home, when you use it for a long time, maybe you can see some of the water is dripping. Why? Number one might be because of pressure. Number two, because might be when you are connecting these two fittings together, uh, you forget to put the white tape to close up any leakage from there, or maybe the white tape is already used throughout the years, so dia dah jadi nipis, so maybe there are some fitting holes over there, so liquid will come out. So to make sure that not happening, we use seals over here. Okay, so seals are used in hydraulic system to prevent excessive internal and external leakage and to keep out contamination. All right, so some of the common sealing device are rings, compression packing, piston cup packing, piston ring, wiper rings and gaskets. Okay, so don't worry, we'll go through by this type of rings over here one by one, but we just go through for it. Okay, don't worry about the number. So this is just O-ring. Usually it's made out of getah, kadang plastic. It depends on the material, depends on the pressure that is we are using and the type of connections that we are using. Okay, right, so O-ring looks like this. Okay, I think you have seen it a lot, O-rings. Okay, we also have V-ring seal. Okay, V-ring, how do you know it's V-ring? Here you have the macam longkang macam parit kat sini, bentuk V. Okay, so this is V-ring. Alright, so it connects between two parts together. So this component will be some of it here and some of it here. So it will be closed. So that's the system, V-ring. So usually V-ring is put here. Okay, and then it's used to connect between two part. Okay, for example. And then we have U-ring. Okay, why do we call this U-ring? Once again, you can see it from the okay, it's U-ring. Okay, and then we have cup seal. Cup seal is when you have one part of this is closing the seal over here. Cup means it's closing on top, and then the other one is connected to the top part. So This part yang ada lubang ni akan connect to the bottom part, and then the top part will close on the top part. Okay, gasket, this is usually seen in the engine compartment. Okay, top heat compartment of an engine, we put gasket on top. Okay, so to provide a seal so that we will have a cover on top of the engine bay, sorry. And also it's used for multiple purpose. Okay, so usually you'll see it on pistons lah. Right, so this is basic flange joints, gasket. Okay, gasket sits in between two different components. Okay, so basic connection is how do we connect this gasket. Here you have one component, you have the other. In between you put gasket, so you connect it to each other, so it prevents leakage. Okay, it's not if you don't have this gasket, what you will have, this component over here and this component connected together without any seal in between. So if we have some rust or we have any corrosion, so liquid may pass through from one point to the other. Okay. All right, seal can be done here, it depends on the situation. Okay, so it's done for seal. All right, next is accumulators. All right, so this is a component that is used in a circuit, and the function of accumulators is to accumulate pressure, okay, and the pressure vessel for storing fluid or potential energy by means of either gravity, mechanical, springs, or compressed gas. Okay. Right. So how do we study about accumulators here? Okay, so before this, as I said, we always have the hydraulic device called reservoir, pump, valve, actuator, conductors, and fittings. Okay, these are called major components. Why? In order for a circuit to be complete, you need to have these four items: reservoir, pump, valve, and actuator. So to connect between this item or this component, you need conductors and fittings. However, there might be some components that is additional to the system, which is, for example, accumulator and pressure intensifier. Okay, what's the purpose of accumulator? We have four different purposes. So we go one by one. Number one, to meet peak demand of power. Okay, so what is the function of accumulator? Just now we talked about potential energy storing. So what happened? For example, if you have a circuit, okay, and the circuit is is having a pressure of 60 kilo Pascal, for example, okay, and then it meets the DCV and then it meets the application. For example, over here is single acting cylinder example. Okay, so the single active cylinder can only be used when it hits 60 kilopascal and above. So right now we have 60 kilopascal, so everything is okay. However, what happens if, okay, I have a longer circuit, okay, and then here 60 kilopascal. However, at this point over here, if I check, it is just 55 kilopascal. Why? Because there are some maybe losses coming in, okay, and what will happen? So the piston will not move. So in order to overcome that problem, so what do? We use, okay, the accumulator. Okay, so what happened here is, when for example we have 60 kilopascal of pressure coming in, what happened? The 60 kilopascal pressure will go into here and the fluid will fill up this compartment. Okay, because 60 kilopascal, it will fill in this compartment. When this is, for example, still in 60 kilopascal, so it will move to the cylinder will extend. However, because of some losses, maybe some vibration, instead of 60 kilopascal, you are only having 55 kilopascal. So to add up this 55 kilopascal, okay, so this accumulator will push out some liquid so that it will increase this number to 60 kilopascal so that it will be fixed to 60 kilopascal. Okay, so losses can be in any type. Okay, so what happened here? Saya terang bahasa Melayu Kalau asal 60 kilopascal, dia akan storekan fluid. Tiba-tiba somewhere here ada losses. Tiba-tiba dia jadi 55. So accumulator akan release fluid. However, this is just temporary. Okay. Dia tak boleh berpanjangan. Why? Because we only can store fluid a certain amount of it. And when we finish up all the fluid to increase this pressure, so liquid tu akan dah habis lah, tak boleh digunakan lagi. So any question on the basic idea of accumulator?
No, sir.
Alright. Okay, so these are the example. Okay, number one, the function of accumulator to meet peak demand of power. For example, if a smaller pump is used for a system, but maybe at a certain time, more power is required. Okay, for example, here you might have a condition where you have unstable loading, meaning sometimes the loading is consistent, sometimes the loading is much higher. So pump over here can only supply a certain amount of power. So this accumulator is used to provide additional pressure to the system. Okay, so this is the first part of accumulator. So they call it auxiliary. But once again, remember, it's just for uh, a limited time condition, because as the liquid comes out, it will drain out from accumulator. When we don't have any liquid anymore here, we cannot increase the pressure anymore. So this might only be used when we have unstable loading, for example, for a while. When it comes back to normal, we don't have to use the accumulator. Okay. Number two, to smooth out pressure surges, okay, and cushion operation, shock vibration. So for example, if hydraulic system stops suddenly, it will create pressure surge, which is sent back through the system, resulting in shock wave. Okay, what happened? For example, pump is providing pressure. So for example, at this point, pump is providing 100 kilopascal. Here we get 100 kilopascal, for example, to the system. Okay. However, suddenly, okay, the hydraulic system is stopped. For example, pressure over here. Okay, while this is 100, what happened will fill up, okay, this system or accumulator. Suddenly we have problems. The pump is not working fine. So we have some pulsation or wave, okay? So it create 100 and then it stop for a second. So we have some pulse coming in. So meaning to smooth out the condition so that our system will not be acting weirdly, okay? So this accumulator will fit on the liquid when the liquid is having low pressure. For example, 100, and then suddenly lost pressure. So the pressure comes down, so the accumulator will come out and push the pressure out. Okay. Oh, for example, when there is a sudden change in fluid flow, this will cause vibration. So accumulator will absorb the energy and dampen out the surges. So what we want is we want the liquid to come out to the system in a very smooth manner, so that when you have, for example, a piston, the piston will move out very nicely to the right like this. We don't want the piston to move out like this. Start, stop, start, stop. We don't want that to happen because it will affect our condition. Okay, the third one is to provide emergency power or backup power, secondary source. If, for example, actuator will maintain on the position if normal supply of all pressure is lost due to pump failure. When you are, for example, providing pressure to the system, it's working fine. Okay, so we put accumulator at the end over here. All right. So what happened? If everything is fine, pressure will go out to the system, goes back to the tank as usual. However, if something happened to the system, pump stops, we want to maintain the system to be that way. Okay, we don't want the system to snap back to the back or to overstand to the right. So we use accumulator and we will supply all pressure, okay, to pump failure to maintain the position. So function is to maintain position. Because when pressure is out from here, for example, and then the load is high, suddenly this load will push the piston back in a very fast manner. That will break the system. So what happened? We use accumulator, we maintain and stop that from happening. Okay. And the last one is to compensate for internal external leakage. For example, you have any leakage over here, coming out is 100 kilopascal, coming here you only have 99 kilopascal, but this requires 100 kilopascal, so it will cover up for the leakage for certain time lah. Okay. Alright, so we have multiple type of accumulator. One is weight loaded, spring loaded, and gas loaded. For gas loaded, we have separated type and non-separated type. And from here, we have 4 different types over here. Okay, so this is the first one, weight loaded accumulator. Alright, you can see over here why it's called weight loaded. This schematic diagram shows that we have a load on top. Okay, what is the function of the load? Okay, the load will provide us with the amount of force or pressure for the system. Okay, so what happened here, this is an older design and usually it's a vertical orientation because we use mechanical load over here. It consists of steel cylinder, piston with backing and dead weight. The force of gravity will pull the system. So over here we have potential energy, PE, right? And we have constant volume pressure. So the function over here is, if you have the pressure at a condition that we want, for example, this load over here is 1000 Newton, for example, or if you do it in pressure, a certain amount of pressure, or 1000 Pascal, for example. Okay, so what happened here is the system is moving at the 1000 Pascal. So what happened? This load is 1000, okay? So as long as the pressure is 1000 or this load is lower than 1000, the liquid can enter the system and push the load upward, okay? For example, 1100 lah, okay? So load is higher, load is lower than the amount of pressure inside the system. So liquid will come in and push the load upward, okay? Suddenly, something happened. And instead of 1000, now the force over here is coming at 900 kilopascal. However, the minimum requirement for our system is 1000. Okay, so what happened? This is lower than the pressure here. This is 1000 Pascal. So it will push the liquid down so that when it comes out at 1000 Pascal. All right, is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's the idea of it. So advantage of this is used for heavy industry, okay, extremely high capacity at low cost, rugged and durable. Rugged means because this is mechanically weight, right? So the weight is stable, okay. Extremely bulky and heavy, unsuitable for mobile equipment because this is an old design. So bulky, we need weight, we have to control that weight. So we have problem also in sealing because we have corrosion and stuff over here, okay. So that will be number one, wing loaded. So if you want to check on the schematic diagram or the symbol for this one, we have a capsule symbol here. This box represents the load and this line represents that we have a piston over here. Okay, so this represents the load. This represents the separation. Okay, so the load is on top of the liquid, right? So it means the load and the liquid will not be mixing together. Number two is called spring loaded. Instead of using weight just now, we use spring. Okay, so same idea, similar to weight loaded. Piston is preloaded with a spring. So we have compressed spring, provide potential energy. So potential energy comes from the compressed spring. Okay, so pressure generated depends on the spring size. And also we can actually adjust the spring compression. Okay, so the pressure exerted is not constant based on Hooke's law. Okay, all right, so not good for high cycle rate because spring will fatigue. So this is a problem with spring. When you keep compressing and expanding the spring, it will be fatigued at one point. Okay, deliver small volume of oil at low pressure. So this is more for low pressure and tend to be heavy and large for high pressure and high volume. So it's not very suitable for high pressure, high volume. And the system is the same just now. So the spring will provide the pressure and the force. So if the liquids in the hydraulic system overcome that pressure, it will fill it with liquid. When the pressure in the system is lower, the spring will push upward. So we have spring, and we also have the separation. Okay, next we have gas loaded. Okay, usually called hydropneumatic accumulator, hydropneumatic. Use gas, normally nitrogen. Why? Because this is inert gas. Why do we use nitrogen? What's the important part of inert gas that we use for the system? Maureen, are you there? Maureen, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, why do we always use nitrogen for mechanical purposes?
Maybe low reactivity.
Ah, betul. So it's low reactivity and nitrogen usually doesn't react with other gas. Okay, so and also does not support combustion. So the nitrogen itself, you can compress, you can decompress, and it will not create combustion unless we have other addition of gas inside the system. Okay, so nitrogen usually does not react with other gas. So if we react with other liquid or gas, it will become a product of that nitrogen. We don't want that to happen. For example, if you use oxygen and in the system is using water, if it's mixing together, now the oxygen will be together with the water and we don't have any oxygen in the system anymore. So that's why we use gas that is not going to react with each other. Okay. Usually based on the idea of Boyle's law, so in terms of pressure, we assume a constant temperature. So pressure 1, volume 1 equals to pressure 2, volume 2. So we have two types, separator type and non-separator type. So what's the difference? Okay, separator like this. Non-separator means we don't have any separation here. Okay, so we have piston type, diaphragm, bladder type, and metal bellows. Okay, so non-separator type, we only have one type. Okay, so non-separator type means that we have gas, which is here, for example, nitrogen. Okay, and we have fluid coming in here. Okay, when you push, we create pressure inside the system. Okay, the liquid requires a certain amount of pressure to push it upward. Okay, so to overcome that pressure, so we have to make sure the gas is entered at a certain pressure through this particular path. Okay, and this is usually done in a vertical installation because if you put it to the side, the gas will go on the top, so it's a problem for the system. Why? Because gas is less dense than liquid, so it must always be on the top. Okay, it cannot be on the side, right? So ability to handle large volume of oil because we don't have any nose separator. Disadvantage and trap gas in the oil cavitation does not recommended for use with high-speed pump. Okay. Number two, might be some absorption of gas, makes the oil compressible or spongy, because even though nitrogen does not react with the liquid, but the gas can also be absorbed sometimes. Okay, so we don't want that to happen. So a non-separate type, separated type is used, but not regularly in the industry. Okay, how do you know it's non-separator? It's just a symbol of triangular shape over here, which is means that we have pressure coming in, but we don't have any separation. Okay, next is separator type piston accumulator. Okay, so contain free floating. So what happened here? You have the gas and you have the piston separator. So here we have a piston that separates between the liquid and the gas. That's why we have this separation. Okay, so ability to operate at high or low temperature, expensive to manufacture, limited practical size, piston and seal friction may have a problem in low pressure system, and leakage tends to occur over a long period. So to design a system that is leak tight, meaning leak proof, meaning we don't have any gas going out from the piston in between the space that we have here. So it's really hard for us to do that. Okay, for liquid maybe it's harder because its density, So it's hard for it to go through the small space over here. However, for gas, if you compress it, it will find a way to spread out. So this is important to do something like this for separated type piston. It must be very precise. Okay, so we have piston in between. All right, for example, this is the gas, this is the fluid. So we have this as the piston. So, right. Next, we have the second type called diaphragm accumulator. So diaphragm accumulator, okay, it works like your paparu. Paparu apa in English? Not heart.
Lungs.
Lungs. It works like your lungs. Okay. So what happened in the system? Okay, usually your lung can expand. Okay, it can also contract. Okay. So what happened over here? We have a system that is also, if you draw it, looks this way because we have separation. But instead of using piston, we use this. So we call this as diaphragm. Diaphragm. Okay, diaphragm. Okay, so advantage is small to weight volume ratio, low maintenance and long service life, choice of installation position, and this is for limited application. So it looks like this from the outside. Okay, from the inside, it looks like this. Okay, so what happened here is at the bottom, this is your hydraulic fluid. At the top will be nitrogen. Okay, when we have low pressure at the bottom, so what happened when we have low pressure? Okay, so high pressure at your nitrogen. Okay, so it will push the diaphragm downward. Okay, so from the circuit, okay, when we have low pressure, have the pressure from the nitrogen that push the circuit to be this way. Sorry, the accumulator to be this way. Okay. Next, if you have high pressure in the circuit, okay, and then the pressure from hydraulic fluid is higher than the pressure from nitrogen. Okay, so what will happen? It will start to push the diaphragm up until the maximum point. So this right now will be filled with hydraulic fluid. Okay, so and then if the pressure over here is becoming lower again, so pressure over here is higher, so over here P nitrogen is higher than P circuit or P fluid. So what happened? It will push the liquid out again to increase the pressure, then it will be fully discharged. And then we fill it up again when the pressure is being constant again. All right. So this is the third type, which is bladder accumulator. So it works as a bladder, okay, serve as an elastic barrier. So secure sealing between gas and oil chambers. Lightweight bladder provide quick response for pressure regulation, pump pulsation, and short damping. So the advantage is more for vibration. Disadvantage is the failure of the bladder itself. Okay, same schematic diagram, different shape over here. But instead of using diaphragm just now, go up and down. This is the same thing also, but the bladder can be compressed to be this way. Okay, so what happened here is no pressure is acting on both sides. This one we have high pressure from the system. Okay, this one will have nothing coming in. So when in the circuit you have high pressure, okay, from the circuit, it will push out the bladder over here. So this condition, pressure from the fluid is higher than pressure from the bladder lah, or the nitrogen. Okay, and then when here you have low pressure, okay, so you have pressure of fluid is lower than pressure of nitrogen, it will help push out the liquid to increase the pressure in the circuit. Okay, the last one will be metal bellows. Okay, in terms of metal bellows, it is similar to bladder type, but instead of using, sometimes they use getah. Okay, or different materials for this. Instead of using that, right now, we are using metal bellows, meaning we have this kind of piece that is in metal, use a material of metal. Okay, so what happened here, it can also expand and retract. Okay, so compared to bladder type, so the elastic is replaced by a hermetically sealed welded metal bellows. It is used when a fast response time is not critical, yet reliability is important. Reliable because we can prevent problem of bladder getting punctured. Okay, so we have nitrogen on top, and then this is accumulator. Okay, liquid and come in and out, so piston will go up or down. Okay, depending on the system here. So exceptionally low spring rate, allowing the gas charge to do all the work with little change in pressure from full to empty. And long stroke relative solid height will give maximum storage volume. So more volume can be stored here. Okay, provide exceptionally high level accumulative performance. Response time is more and it is high cost. Okay, what's the difference between this spring and this the spring that we used before? The spring that we used before over here, when liquid comes in, it creates compression, so pressure will increase. So force will increase, and when liquid has low pressure, it will push it upwards. Okay. For this one, what happened for the metal bellows? Instead of compression, what happened if the liquid comes in? It will extend the spring, and the spring will want to come back to the original position. So the way it happens is different. Just now we have a spring, you compress, so it wants to elongate again. This one, we expand the spring. We want it to uh, come back to the original position or location. Okay. So in terms of selection of accumulators, first we need to know the sizing. So based on the application, we want to know the flow rate, temperature, maximum temperature, because if the temperature is high, sometimes the bladder cannot be used, sometimes it requires us to use metal bellows, or it depends on the condition. Okay, because metal bellows is used on metal, so metal can hold higher temperature. Okay, and then depends on the pressure and depends on fluid compatibility. If the fluid will not react with nitrogen, it's good. But if the fluid can react with nitrogen, we cannot use nitrogen-based accumulators, right? Mounting space and orientation and connection size. Okay, this is the next one. What is pressure intensifier, aka pressure booster? So last time we learned about accumulators. This time around we learned about intensifier. This is a device used to increase pressure in a hydraulic system to a value above the pump discharge pressure. Okay, so what happened here? It must be above the pump discharge pressure. So if your pump is discharging at 100 kilopascal, okay, and you go to your DCV, then goes to your application, for example, piston. Okay. All right. So what happened here is, if you want to use a piston, for example, the load over here suddenly changed to 110 kilopascal. The pressure is increasing above this pressure of pump. Then what will happen? We will add one additional nut here, which is called as the component is called as intensifier. Okay. So what happened here? This here works like a small pump, will increase the pressure from the system using mechanical spacing over here. Okay, move spacing over here to create extra pressure. So what will happen in that system? Okay, so you can see high pressure oil will come in. Okay, from this side and this side goes to this side. Okay, so before becomes high pressure, we have low pressure oil. So this is coming from the system. So what happened? Low pressure oil will come into the system, will be compressed, and then we have a sudden compression here. Then the liquid will be moving out to this system over here to increase the pressure. When the pressure is already out, okay, and then the oil will be exhausted to the tank. Okay, so the idea is simple. The gray area here show low pressure oil. So we want to increase the low pressure oil. This is used to increase the pressure. Okay. This piston will move to the right and to the left, to the right and to the left to increase pressure. And then this is how we will increase the pressure in the system. Okay. And then when the pressure is built up, it will be released to the piston. So application to eliminate high pressure low flow pump. Okay, meaning we just want to use one pump, but suddenly we require sudden change of pressure higher than the pressure of the pump. We use intensifier. Remember again, intensifier can only work for a while. It's not for consistent increment of pressure. Okay. Using punch press, create large force with small flow rate to punch the workpiece. Long holding of pressure on presses, maintain holding pressure on bonding, laminating or curing process. So it's two purpose. Number one, for punch press, for example, okay, this one, right? So they use in the circuit. So what happened in punch press? Usually for punch press, it will move slowly at first, piston, and then at the sudden condition where you want to create a hole, for example, then the punch will move faster. So the pressing of the piston will move faster. That's why we call it a punch press. This is like when you do your puncher, if you use your puncher for your paper in your high school time, you want to punch a hole. If you do it slowly, it will not work efficiently. So right at the moment when you want to create the hole, so you punch it fast. So that's a punch press. Okay. Second one, whenever you press on something, you want to hold it so that the pressure will stay and push the piston downward. Okay, so that's why we are using pressure intensifier. So remember, it is used only for short term, not for a long-term condition, meaning you cannot buy a pump 100 kilopascal and assume intensifier will increase up to 110 kilopascal all the time. No, cannot do that. It is used in short-term condition only, right? This is an example of intensifier. Okay, so these are the applications of it, right? And this is, for example, in a circuit where do you see intensifier? Okay, so example punch press system here. Okay, when pressure in the cylinder reaches the sequence valve pressure setting, the intensifier starts to operate. So the high pressure output of the intensifier closes the pilot check valve and pressurize the blank end of the cylinder to perform the punching operation. So it gets to here, move slowly, and then it can punch out fast. Okay. A pilot check valve is used instead of a regular check valve to permit retraction of the cylinder. So what happened here is, okay, if liquid is coming in from the system, okay, if it goes this way, so what happened? It will go to the side. Okay, and this will come back down to the system. Right? So this is a way for us to go through one side. Okay, ni sepatutnya should be the other way around lah. Okay, because we want to allow the liquid to move in here. So in case we want to use the puncher, so what happened? Okay, we use this one. So what happened here? If this shape is nicely drawn, cannot move through this side. So it will move to our system over here. Okay, so this is our valve. Okay, and then the valve, sequence valve, will act by having pressure build up. And then it will come through here. Okay, and then it will go and extend the footing. Right? So any problem with this circuit?
No, sir.
No, eh? Okay. Let me check on this. Alright, so I guess that's about it. Okay. So other than that, This is one example of it. Okay. And this is the example of punch press machine system. Okay, so we have a pressure gauge, security light curtain, auto semi-automation button. So this is an example where we have to use punch press machine system. Okay. Well, that will be the end of chapter 6.